Testing 1, 2, 3. Let's see if we got sound. Thank you. Thank you. I said welcome everyone, and I know that I had this scheduled for a different time, but this is the time I could make it happen. So I'm jumping on to do it. I want to get it out of the way so we can handle other business pretty soon. There's a lot more to do. So you guys enjoying the shit show? Question for you: how do you like the fact that they are locking themselves into a story, and all the details of that story don't match the details that they've been giving you for 7.5 years? That's right. That's right. The liars are in full effect, and they're on the stand, and they are giving us a locked in story with details that don't match the past 7.5 years of gaslighting, straight up lying, covering up for the murders of two little girls. That's what they do. And yes, I mean the family members. Why are they lying? Why are the searchers lying? Why are the law enforcement lying? Hmm? Well, guess what? We will be going into a very thorough dissection of all of the statements made on the stand. I've already got transcripts, so to speak, which are very detailed notes from a very impressive attorney. And going to be using those notes to compare and contrast with the whole 7.5 years of gaslighting, including using their own video clips of their own words against them. Yes, and I mean Kelsey German. Yes, I mean Becky Patty. Yes, I mean Jake Johns. Yes, I mean David Erskine and all of them, because everything's a fucking lie. There's been 7 years of straight up fucking lies in your faces, and and now on the stand we're getting different lies. So we're going to be exposing those lies. For instance, let's start off with a good hit. I got one right now. So suddenly we are told that the bodies are found afternoon, right? After lunch. Like someone put in the chat, what's the current time the bodies are said to be found and by who? Hmm. Well, let's take a little listen to something right here. Let's see. Because I don't take well to the straight up lying in our faces, and you shouldn't either. All right. So while I'm getting this, let me say hello to everyone in the chat. I kind of hit the ground running because I'm aggravated and I'm ready to get done with the show already. But say hello to Jane Darby, Sherlock Holmes, Lisa, Four Pits, Fur Baby Daddy, Greenlee, Brutally Honest, RC99, Ashley Nudo, Scully, and anyone else who comes in, please greet them. But yes, they've been lying for 7.5 years, and we already knew that. And now all the details of what they are saying on the stand do not match the details that we've had for 7.5 years. That's right. Um, and we'll be addressing that in the future. But for now, let me play this for you. Let's see. I want to get it on the juicy part. Here we go. You guys ready for this one? Let's see what David Erskine has to say about when the bodies were found. Fair use.
Becky said to me that she got the phone call at 11:30, and they said to me, Ella McDonald took that image of the clothing at 1:13 or 11:13. That can't be possible. If he found the bodies, how in the world did he then found the clothes as well? Unless you need to tell him.
I don't remember an exact time, but it was early in 11:14.
It was earlier, right?
Oh, you don't say.
It was closer to between 9:45 and 10:30.
Oh, you don't say. You don't say.
I don't feel like getting arrested over it for
What are you being arrested with?
saying, like, they've already, Delphi police called me. I can fucking look it up right now. Fucking what was that? It was. Where the fuck is it? I was working, and then Indiana State Police called me at 10:18. I don't remember an exact time, but it was early than 11:14.
It was earlier, right?
It was closer to between 9:45 and 10:30.
Okay. Okay, David Erskine. So here's the deal. Here's the deal. Closer to 9:45 or 10:30. Becky called someone at 11 whatever. Then how is it that we are being told on the stand that 12 something? Let me ask you this. Got another one. Got another one.
She called me. It wasn't quite 12:30, and she said, Julie, Cody just called me. They found the girls. They found the girls. I'm like, don't tell me. She said, yeah. She goes, they're not alive. And I said, oh my God, what happened? She goes, they don't know. Cody said that they were in a cat. They were taken to a cabin, but then they were found out down at the water. And I said, where were the girls? And she goes, one was half in and half out of the creek, and the other one was further up the bank. And that JJ,
Jake
the
Johns,
softball coach, was the one that was with him, and he was looking, and he saw some clothes in the water, and he looked, and he saw one of the girls that was half in the water and half up the bank, and the other one was further up the bank. These are verbatim words, and that they had been in a cabin or something overnight,
shack,
but then they were found there, and I'm like, oh my God, they must have escaped. Maybe they held him in a cabin at night.
You don't think?
This is literally February 14th at not even quite 12:30. And my sister called me to tell me this. I think I even have the phone records actually.
Oh, thanks, Julie.
Because I'm a very detailed. I document mark every single thing.
That's right.
And she said, this is when she told me this, and I was like, wow. And in my mind, I was seeing a cabin that was out there.
Shack.
And then I heard
How would he know
rumors.
Sorry.
He said that JL, his former
Josh Lank.
It was his former uncle, but however you want to call it now, I can't even keep track of what they tried to call it. But it was TG's
Tara German
husband that said this.
Josh
that
Lank
told him this, and then he repeated it to my sister Diane, and Diane repeated it to me, like right away.
So, wow, Jake Johns, Josh Lank, Cody Patty, Tara German. Where were those bodies found? When were those bodies found? What have you said on the stand? Sounds like a bunch of lies have been told, and I hope every fucking one of you goes down, ends up in prison, or gets killed. Yeah, that's what I hope. So, with that being said, there's plenty more where that came from. I'm just being nice and sparing you with the listening through the microphone. There's more. Trust me. Jake Johns is Brian Pancake's half brother, which is Mike Patty's childhood's best friend. So, where were the bodies? Where were they first found? Were they moved after they were found? David Erskine says 9:45 or 10. Interesting, isn't it? So, got some splaining to do. Yeah, over the murders of two little girls, and you're lying in court, and you've been lying for 7 years, and the shit still don't make sense. Okay, we'll figure it out. So, there's plenty more where that came from. You fucked with the wrong person. All right, so forgive me for my outburst. I usually don't have them, but like I said, we haven't even begun to get into the calling out of lies, and we will be getting into the calling out of lies because there's a whole bunch. For instance, who brought the girls to where and when and who? Uh, and now, how are you going to explain not crime scene techs, crime scene technicians who train their entire lives to properly do things, right? How are you going to explain them not doing a rape kit on the girls, not collecting the sticks that obviously might have DNA all over them? Uh, hmm? How are you going to explain all that? How are you going to explain all the lies about who took the girls' wares and when and blah, 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 blah? You can't. That's okay. We're notating everything, cross referencing, double checking, fact checking, grabbing receipts. It'll all be displayed to the people in a very organized fashion. Very shortly, I'm working on it. That's why you haven't heard me comment on the activities in the court yet, because I'd rather put it all together and totally lay it out for everyone, which will be happening very soon. But for now, what we're dealing with is we're going to take a look at my weird shit series. What do I mean by that? Oh, I mean the bad shit, the shit on the community page that no one pays attention to. We'll be getting into that, so I'm gonna get that going pretty much right now. So let's see if I can do this little job here. Mm, there we go. I'm gonna get this one going. Yeah, we're gonna get this. All right, that's working. All right, we're gonna get this. All right, so what are we looking at, Prof? Well, geez, you're looking at my community page. All right, sorry. Okay, so what are we looking at? Let's get back here and take Josh off of here. All right. Now, what do we have here? Well, I'll tell you what we have here. What we have here is stuff no one wants to pay attention to. For instance, uh, below are domains registered by a name, business, email, or alias associated with Delphi Photo Guy. Oh, who is Delphi Photo Guy? Oh, uh, Ted Bear, he's gone by. Warren Asher, he's gone by. And I don't know, potentially worked with Greeno and with Jalen Rain. And, you know, in some cases, this same name was used with different emails. The same email was used with different names, etc. All found using reverse who is lookup at whoxy.com. DC means .com in the annotations below. Most of these are not on the Wayback Machine, although I did not search thoroughly. DelphiPhotoGuy.com, DistinctK9.com. Let me get my let me get myself over to that community page so I can read them from the actual post for you so that I don't miss a damn thing. Okay. TheUncleWarren.com, FLHotbodGirls.com, DelphiPhotoGuide.com, DistinctK9.com, SexyAleah.com, ConglomerateMall.com, SultrySummer.com, AlluringAmanda.com, CherryChains.com. In the list below, the domain registry was made by an email address linked to Delphi Photo Guide, but the name on the registrations may vary. In the list below, the first date is the created date of the domain registry. The second date is the last updated date of the registry, just like a change to the name of the registry. The last date is when the domain registry expired. Note this is only a snippet of the registry history data, however. Note the dates of interest below. In my opinion.biz, some fragments on archive.org is a weird homegrown rant site as if the creator didn't have social media. Sexyalea.com, everythingpc.biz, tedbearphoto.com, kingcalendars.com. Okay. xxxavp.com, February 17, 2017, February 17, 2018. Hotbodgirls.com, some pages on the Wayback Machine, various snapshots of the site reference Tampa, Indy, Philly, Jersey at different time periods. Also has an associate's email, that's Greeno, on one of the archived pages. February 15th, 2017. What do we have here, ladies and gentlemen? Hotbodgirls.com. Girl, ISAWU.biz. Some fragments on the archive.org. It's a model photography recruitment site with a focus on promotion through videos. Does this mean that some of the model recruitment domains were created the week of February 13th, 2017? A lot of domains to register and manage, don't you think? Who was recruiting young girls? Who was recruiting young girls for pornographic purposes? Who was photographing them? Who was exploiting and sex trafficking these girls? Who were the sugar babies that Jalen Rain was running? Oh, you don't want to talk about that, do you? No. Why did Max Snowberger tell us that Abby and Libby were sending nudes? You think they might have been targeted for that purpose or that reason? Oh, no, no sex, no rape kits done. Hmm. 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 There's a photo of Anna Downham on somebody's lap. Who's that? What are the odds that the same guy that owned all those domains owned that studio in Flora? Oh, we don't want to talk about that, though. We're going to pretend that doesn't exist. Who is Anthony underscore shots? Delphi weird shit. Now, maybe the trolls should think about what they do before they do what they do, because I'm sick of what they've been doing. So you get what you get. What do we have here? Delphi Weird Shit 43. This is the Robert Baston letter. hmm Read this for you many times. I'll skip it today. Okay. See it? It's there. Go explore it if you want. What do we have here? Part 45, Delphi. Oh, Blosher report. Oh, let's review that since we're talking about a cover up of the murder of two little girls. Right. Now, in said request, the defense detailed newly discovered evidence hereafter called the Blotcher report that suggests that the phone that was found at the scene where the victims of the murders were ultimately found had actually been taken out of the area on February 13th before being brought back into the area at some point in time. This is important because law enforcement has maintained from the beginning that the case that the girls were murdered on February 13th, 2017, just like they're alleging that they were found after lunchtime. But now we know they were probably found earlier than that. We'll get back to that. and remained in the place where they were found from the following day, never leaving the area where they were ultimately found. Bullshit. This new evidence, therefore, would show that the phone and the victims were taken outside of the area where they were ultimately found and brought back at a later time. Well, hold on. What did we just hear? Should we listen to that again? I think we should. Let's see. What was Julie saying there? Seems like she was saying something really important that everyone ignores. Let's see. Let's get that one going again. Let's see.
Me, it wasn't quite 12:30, and she's like, Julie, Cody just called me. They found the girls. They found the girls. I'm like, don't tell me. She said, yeah. She goes, they're not alive. And I said, oh my God, what happened? She goes, they don't know. Cody said that they were in a they were taken to a cabin, but then they were found down at the water. And I said, where were the girls? And she goes, one was half in and half out of the creek, and the other one was further up the bank. And that JJ, the softball coach,
Jake
was
Johns.
the one that was with him, and he was looking, and he saw some clothes in the water, and he looked and he saw one of the girls that was half in the water and half up the bank, and the other one was further up the bank. These are verbatim words, and that they had been in a cabin or something overnight, but then they were found there, and I'm like, oh my God, they must have escaped. Maybe they held them in a cabin at night.
Just like this says, right?
This is literally February 14th at not even quite 12:30. And my sister called me to tell me this. I even have the phone records actually.
Yeah, makes a little sense, does it? Never mind us. We're just conspiracy theorists. All right, what are we looking at here? Oh, look, we forgot about this one, right? Richard Allen's third Frank's notice and request for Frank's hearing, of course, all denied by our combative, biased, evil judge. All right, what we got here? Let's see. Got a little reading. Specifically, the defense received certain geofencing evidence that at least three persons were in or around the crime scene at the time while the murders were allegedly taking place, according to law enforcement's timeline, and none of the owners of the phones have any connection to Richard Allen. This geofencing evidence that the judge wouldn't allow in because it would prove something to the jury that they don't want proven to the jury would provide evidence of any of the following scenarios. Now, which is it? Is it A, the persons walking with the phones are witnesses that would have observed the murders as they were taking place, and none have identified Richard Allen? B, is it B, that those persons walking with the phones were witnesses who observed nothing as the murders did not take place the afternoon of February 13, 2023, but the victims were taken to the crime scene after the search was called off? Or is it C, the persons walking with the phones were participants in the murders? Well, geez, how are we to know, and how is a jury to know if you won't allow them to see who was there? Said geofencing evidence was so important to somebody involved in the investigation that they created a map or two and plotted the damn movements of these persons, including movements that show that at least one of those persons went directly to the fucking crime scene. I've shown you the maps. At the time that law enforcement is alleging the murders would have been occurring. Those phones, once again, had no connection to Richard Allen. Furthermore, the map shows that two other phones and the persons carrying those phones were in and around the crime scene between 12:39 p.m. and 5:49 p.m. Oh, what is that interval of time? Sounds like some pre-staging and some post-staging, doesn't it? Yeah, something's not right there. But oh, we just ignore that. We're just going to ignore that. This judge here. Uh, oh, what do we have here? What do we have here? Let's talk about Turco and the sticks. I mean, since they're showing all the crime scene photos, which absolutely prove that there are runes, bind runes formed with sticks on top of the bodies, which were gaslit. You were gaslit by the entire fucking troll farm, creator farm, run by the Patty family, and they want you to believe that those sticks fell on top of the girls, or that someone was trying to hide bodies with sticks that don't even closely resemble the hiding anyone trying to hide bodies. One of Turco's oh, forgive me. Turco's words and information that Holman left out of his report include the following. After viewing the way the sticks at the crime scene were arranged, it was a given that the pattern of sticks was someone's attempt to replicate a Germanic runic script. Not only that, it was specifically a bind rune. They were bind runes. One of Turco's colleagues, a Harvard professor with even more expertise, agreed. Odinism is an extreme racist, neo-pagan, neo-heathenism ideology that has right-wing racist connotations. Brad Holder and Patrick Westphal were known to be involved in extremist racist groups. So were a bunch of the cartel members who were involved in these murders. You'll find out. It's all coming. Although he could not necessarily interpret the intended meaning of these sticks formed into runes because they were personally created bind runes that, of course, he could not interpret because he's not in the mind of those who put them on the bodies. The stick configurations were pretty clearly runic, and he stated that he could certainly imagine that this was somebody's idea that when you do a human sacrifice, you carve runes. There were some poetic sources that would sort of support the idea that somebody might have come across. That scenario seems entirely plausible to me, says Turco. Oh, but yeah, the state lied to you and said, and Holman especially, and said it has nothing to do with it. They even tried to hide Turco because they knew if he was found that this would be discovered. Okay, so that's why they said they didn't know who he was, blah, 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 blah. Furthermore, Turco discussed how runes were thought to have magical significance and would be used in incantations and rituals, that there is a sacrificial connection in mythological poetry. According to police reports, Brad Holder told Amber Holder that he and Patrick Westphal had a falling out over something that happened in the woods near a river during a ritual in which Westphal wanted to move on away from animal sacrifice. What does that mean? Another red flag. March 13th, 2024. Allen by counsel filed his third Frank's notice. Based on evidence recently provided by the prosecution, Frank's 3 detailed the following information omitted from the search warrant. At least 3 fucking phones were in or around the fucking crime scene at the time the murders were allegedly taking place, and none of the owners of the phones had any connection to Richard Allen. Purdue professor Jeffrey Turco, who they tried to hide from the defense, wrote in a report provided to Unified Command, yeah, that's the people covering up the murders of Abby and Libby, that the markings constitute an inscription inspired by Norse runes is quite plausible. I don't know why this isn't. Oh, there it is. Motion to compel and request for sanctions. Here we go. Asking for all of Derek German's law enforcement interviews. Who did he snitch on? Okay. Who did Derek German snitch on that were involved in a federal investigation? Somebody please answer the question in my comment section. Who was Derek German snitching on that was tied up in a federal case? All of Derek law enforcement interviews, including video, audio, and or notes reporting or memorializing any law enforcement interview. If he was never interviewed, then fucking explain why. For the purposes of establishing a timeline, all of Kelsey German's phone dumps of all phones attributable to Kelsey German. Yeah, and let's figure out, why did she have the passwords to all of Libby's accounts? Did she have them to Abby's as well? If her phone was never collected, then explain why in the fuck why. Furthermore, every law enforcement interview of Kelsey German, you know, the 6 or 7 where she said FBI was very mean to her, including audio, video, and or notes reports memorializing any of those 6, 7 interviews she told James Renner about. If she was never interviewed, then fucking explain yourself and ask yourself why, because she was the last person allegedly to have contact with those girls. All of Cody Patty's phone dumps of all phones attributable to Cody Patty. If his phone was never collected, the defense will request confirmation of the fact and a fucking explanation of why. Furthermore, of every law enforcement interview of Cody Patty, including audio, video, notes, reports, memorializing any law enforcement interviews. If he was never interviewed, then we'd like you to explain the fuck why. Same with Josh Link. There are 2 images that exist, but which the state of Indiana has not turned over to the defense. Those images can be found on the interfucking-net, with at least one of those images seemingly adopted by law enforcement as being a legitimate photo, as it had been utilized by law enforcement in various media appearances, including a 2019 press conference. We are talking about the photo of Abby Williams walking on the fucking bridge, purportedly taken at 2:07 p.m. on 2/13, attributable to being sent via Snapchat from Liberty's phone, but now we know it's not on the fucking phone. Explain that. Also, an image of the High Bridge purportedly taken at 2:05 p.m., also attributable to being sent via Snapchat from Libby German's phone, but also identically fucking matching Cheyenne's photos of the empty fucking bridge. Explain that. Related to those items, the defense would ask the court to compel the state of Indiana for the following, that it has so far not been fucking provided. Interviews or reports of Kyle Smith or anyone else that either received either or both images. Kyle Smith, why was he not interviewed? Where's his phone dumps? All reports, analysis, documentation detailing any information about the purported images purportedly taken and sent out via Snapchat. All reports, documentation, and analysis from Snapchat. You want to explain yourself, Carroll County? Erica Gibson, you got her phone? You dumped her phone? Kyle Smith, you dumped his phone? Kelsey German, you dumped her phone? Becky Patty, you dumped her phone? Mike Patty, you dumped her phone? Cody Patty, you dumped his phone? Derek German, you dumped his phone? How about Garrett Kurtz's phone? How about Megan Allen's phone? How about Tyler Joe French's phone? How about Gabe Ellis's phone? Any analysis related to those images that has been conducted by law enforcement. If the state of Indiana does not believe that the image of Abby walking on the bridge and of the bridge are discoverable because the state does not claim those images are as relevant or reliable, then the defense requests confirmation of the same. Maybe you want to explain how they got involved in this case if they're not legit. All reports in their documents, phone dumps from any phone or device that was believed to be a phone or device of either victim used near Monon High Bridge. And what about that other second phone that Abby had? You going to explain that phone? All emails between Professor Turco. All reports, documents of geofencing data. The identity of a person or persons that label geofencing data, including labeling a second phone as geofence victim. That was not the phone belonging to Liberty German. You're probably talking about Abby's phone. That's letter N right here. Oh, the identity of the person or persons that reduced the geofencing coordinates to the fucking map or maps. Okay, you get it? Delphi Weird Shit 47. At different times during the hearing, the state of Indiana, by prosecutor McClellan, spoke the following words as it relates to the potential for third-party culpabilities. What do we mean by that? Criminal underworld. This is still a very ongoing investigation. Our goal is to find anyone else who was involved in this heinous crime. That is the public interest, to find anyone else involved and get justice for Abby and Libby. We have good reason to believe that Richard Allen is not the only person involved in the case. Therefore, that there may be other actors involved. That's why we left the tip line open. That's why we left the tip email open. The question becomes, at least in the state's mind, is it more important to release details of the investigation, or more important to keep those confidential in order for the investigation to continue and find anyone else responsible puts the investigation in the best position possible to determine if anyone else was involved. It's the interest of the public that the investigation find anyone else involved. By that, we mean the Kokomo crew, etc. In pertinent part, Detectives Holman's letter sought the sealing of the records for many reasons, one being the investigation is ongoing and fluid. Anyway, you guess what's being said here. Delphi Weird Shit Parts 47. Oh, here's another one. Regarding the sketches, which our biased judge made sure to keep out, the ones that victims cannot confirm are Richard Allen. I'm sorry, not victims. Alleged witnesses will not confirm are Richard Allen. They are not the same person, says ISP in 2019. Person depicted in the originally released sketch is not presently a person of interest. The sketch released on April 22nd is representative of the face of the person captured in the video on Libby's cell phone. The person in the sketch released April 22nd is described as having a youthful appearance, could fall in the age range from 20s to 30s. How old is Richard Allen again? Person's appearance could look different if he has grown a mustache, beard, or let his hair grow. So they want us to believe that this is the same person here. Do you honestly think that this is this face? I mean, who's fooling who here? Who's fooling who? What does this label as? Delphi homicide suspect, singular. They want you to believe that this face belongs to this old guy right here. How do you explain that? Can someone explain that? Oh, look, how odd. Hey, Troll Farm, all suspects are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. That used to be what ISP said. That used to be before Holman took over and decided that he was guilty before proven innocent. What do we have here? Delphi Weird Shit Part 48. Memorandum of law in support of admission of evidence of alternative theories of the crime and third-party perpetrators. What's this? Dr. Perlmutter testified that the murders of Abby and Libby all meet the elements of a ritualistic killing and was textbook. The ritualistic killing elements include location of the crime. We've already shown you that location of the crime includes signatures 213. And I've shown you that on the Delphi. I think I called it Apocalypse Delphi. I showed you the clip in which an interesting individual was showing you that both the distance from the cell tower and the degrees from the cell tower both express 213. That's location of the crime. It's also near water. It's also in a somewhat of a cleared sacred circle area. The date of the death, 213. Okay. Very important point she makes here that Valisblad is a sacrificial feast day honoring Odin's son Valis. This begins at sundown February 13 and ends at sun up February 14. Well, let me ask you this, ladies and gentlemen. Don't those girls disappear around sundown when the phone is turned off? And doesn't that phone come on at approximately sun up on February 14th? Yeah, that's right. So the entire time of this sacrificial feast of Valisblad, not only are the girls totally MIA, but the entire family and all the volunteer firemen and douchebag fucking friends of Mike Patty are possibly right over there forming a perimeter so that they could do whatever they wanted to those girls and move the bodies. Cause of death, slitting of the throat, is indicative of sacrifice and an initiation ritual. Both girls were killed in this manner. Murder weapon. The weapons used to kill the girls were knives. Symbols at the crime scene. FBI Special Agent Nicole Robertson testified that when she was searching the home around Logan, she was looking for evidence of runes and anything Nordic due to the placement of sticks resembling bind runes on the girls' bodies, ladies and gentlemen. Body disposition means the posing of the bodies, which I've shown you in my live stream titled Symbolism at the Crime Scene. FBI Special Agent Nicole Robertson testified that it was her belief that Liberty German and Abigail Williams' bodies had been moved and staged. The gaslighters don't want you to believe that. Sticks and branches were deliberately and intentionally arranged on the bodies. She identified the blood pattern on Liberty German's face as atypical. And not only that, there was blood on the tree that is atypical. It's not a handprint. Whoever tells you it's a handprint is a goddamn liar. It's got right angles, bottom line. Keegan Kline admitted to driving to Delphi, Indiana with his father, Tony Kline, on February 13, 2017. And that Keegan waited in the vehicle while Tony Kline went to the woods where the area where Abigail Williams and Liberty German's bodies were ultimately found. Did he help move the bodies? David Vito testified that Keegan Kline stated that when Jerry Anthony Kline returned to the vehicle, he had blood on him. Purdy further testified that Keegan Kline admitted that they discarded a knife in a river when they were driving home. And I made a video showing you which river and where. And fortunately, everyone ignores it, unfortunately. Delphi worship, part 49. A deceased man cannot defend himself, Robert Kyle Fortson. After Sergeant Fortson's death, the leak continued. Mark Robert Cohen, a resident of Texas who initially received the images, received them according to Cohen, which means not truth, in early October. Cohen then proceeded to disseminate them further after Fortson's burial on October 19th. Wow, what a piece of shit. During the October 18th, 19th, Cohen met with George Nye, Ruckus Rocks in Florida, who took the liberty of meeting Cohen in Orlando despite living near Crystal River. Mr. Nye was very much aware of Cohen having the crime scene images and discovery and took the time to drive 89 miles to meet him. Although they want you to believe that they didn't exchange a thumb drive full of crime scene photos and discovery. Yeah, right. On the 19th, a second wave of leaks. Whoa, what are the odds? Immediately after Ruckus meets Cohen, a second wave of leaks occurred during the hearing, and various YouTubers received them. Not because of Fortson's dissemination, but because Mark Robert Cohen was paid $2,000 by a man named Tyler Carpenter who lives in Michigan and is also part of the Delphi Knot and the Unraveling. Although Mr. Carpenter donated under the name John E., I was able to backtrack his transaction to his account, which has been disabled ever since, says Frankie. In summary, although Sergeant Fortson might have shared it with one person only, the rest of the dissemination was not the fault of Sergeant Fortson. The rest was by Mark Robert Cohen and George Ruckus Rocks. Frankie says, the most important part is that who is right and who is wrong. And I don't give a fuck. I mean, Ruckus has more role in this play because he's the one who distributed all this. He had Tyler Carpenter send that money to Mark. Johnny is a pseudonym, but too bad I got his IP address because Mark Cohen was actually too stupid enough to give me that information. State's Exhibit 6. The state had previously provided undersigned counsel with 145 pages. At no time did they disclose what pages were removed or why. Not once did Robert Kyle Fortson identify Mitchell Westerman as his source. Additionally, Sergeant Holman and Mr. Mullins testified that they were aware that Mr. McClellan was exchanging information with Fig Solves, the most prodigious leaker of all. When Holman was being cross-examined, asked, but she told you she got them from Tyler Carpenter. Yes, and who is he? I don't know. You could never find him? Nope. What effort did you make? Zero. What effort did you make to find the source of the photos? Tyler Carpenter. At that time, we weren't interested in all the people that had them. Zero effort to investigate the truth of the leaks about Tyler Carpenter and the allegations that he paid $2,000 to Mark Robert Cohen through the fraudulent GoFundMe for his allegedly sick daughter. Motion to quash. State believes that the depositions of Pat and Nick Westfall are unreasonable in that they are not relevant to issues. The state believes the deposition of Tobe Lesenby is oppressive in nature, that David Schilling is listed as a rebuttal witness to testify as an expert on Odinism. The information on Odinism has been challenged by the state. So the state asked the court to exclude testimony in relation to Odinism. And guess what this fucking judge did? She gave it all. She gave it all to them. Indiana Attorney General's office was requested copy of Indiana DOC's files associated with the conduct of Dr. Monica Walla. You remember the one who was laughing all over Facebook, having a huge party all over Facebook about the Delphi murders. At the same time, she was injecting Mr. Richard Allen with drugs and treating him for a psychological breakdown. Dr. Fiddler, Jessica Fiddler. You want to know what Dr. Fiddler did? You want to know why this was asked for? I'll just go ahead and tell you, since everyone's fucking lying to you. I'll tell you, okay? Because the judge quashed this subpoena as well. Dr. Jessica Fiddler was in the OR when a certain individual said, you know, I heard one of those girls was pregnant. Is that true? Do you know what Dr. Fiddler did? Dr. Fiddler's eyes got as big as baseballs. Like she saw a ghost. Did Dr. Fiddler know that one of those girls was pregnant? Wow, that would be a reason to keep Dr. Fiddler from testifying. Yeah. Was one of those girls pregnant? Well, shit, if they didn't do rape kits, I doubt they did any pregnancy tests. Not only did she keep that out, she kept out Odinism. Brad Holder, Patrick Westfall, Johnny Meltzer, Elvis Fields, who said he was there and spit on the girls, Ned Smith, Rod Abrams, Keegan Klein, who said he was there with his father, Jerry Klein, and that Jerry Klein was bloody and said, we had fun. Ron Logan. Yeah, she kept all of that out. She sure did. Okay, got a motion and memorandum of law. What do we have here? Delphi Weird Shit Part 50. Let's get to it. Mitch didn't put the pictures on the internet. That means the crime scene photos. He shared them with Robert Fortson, who sent them to Mark Cohen. Mark Cohen alone sent them to various people. Mark then lied to an individual who I am acquainted with, says Sharon Garrison, saying he didn't send them to anyone, which is a big fucking lie. Only provided them to his attorney in Texas. Huge fucking lie. Mark appears to be the only one who benefited from them through his fake GoFundMe account. $500 from Robert Kyle Fortson right before he died. $2,000 from an anonymous individual shortly after Murder Sheet went public, who Little Frankie says is Tyler Carpenter. $200 from Jason T. Blair, a former journalist who lost his job after committing perjury and defamation while reporting, and who is a shill for the Murder Sheet. And $100 from a family member. Here we have August 20th, 2023. Robert Fortson and Tyler Carpenter jump into the group Delphi Murders Journey to Justice for Abby and Libby. Why do they jump into this group simultaneously on April 29th, 2023? Robert Kyle Fortson says, the picture of the runes was found through the Yellow app and had been released on the dark web. Dark web. I can't show the crime scene pics. There were 3 discovered online. They were shown through the Yellow app across seas and in Georgia. Robert Fortson says, I knew it over 2 weeks ago. I can't tell my source, just like you can't, Mark Robert Cohen. I'm not trying to take anything away from you. This is not a competition. You were definitely partially correct, but it's not a backwards F. No, it's a regular facing F. The parts that make up the lines to the F are not straight. No, they're right angles. A backwards anything in Odinism means the opposite. Well, we're arguing about irrelevant stuff. But here's where it gets deep. But there were 3 left. And then the symbols in blood. That's 3 crime scene photos, and symbol in blood is the 4th. They were uploaded online in a very evil, dark place. Very evil, dark place. Through the Yellow app, across seas, and in Georgia, had been released on the dark web. Are we getting it, ladies and gentlemen? Are we going to keep fucking sticking our heads in the sand on this? And he has somehow managed to leave a 4-tour war veteran with a wife and a young daughter dead in his wake. Speaking of Mark Robert Cohen, I'm disgusted. All the while, he starts a fucking GoFundMe on September 19th, which is the Frank's Memo Day, to raise $3,000 to supplement his income for taking a couple days off work, while the Make-A-Wish Foundation pays for the entire family trip to go to Disneyland, all expense paid, every single expense, every fucking penny. Our dead veteran, Robert Kyle Fortson, donated $500, a journalist engulfed in the fraudulent story controversies with New York Times that frequently commented back and forth with Mark on Reddit. That's, you know who, also donated. Then the They Murder Sheet apparently was given information and photos. There was an anonymous $2,000 donation that little Frankie says is Tyler Carpenter. This emergency episode put out by our favorite piece of shit podcaster's Murder Sheet was a cover your own ass episode, trying to get ahead of the fucking narrative that would inevitably come out in the future. Yes, it will. Been trying to explain this to people for over a year now. They are mean-spirited and hateful people out to destroy anyone and everyone who threatens to expose who they really are. Mark Robert is like their little malignant love child. Stay woke, friends. The hole they dug themselves this time is entirely too deep. Yes, there's a dead guy. This is him begging Mark to pick up. Hey, what's going on? First time. Talk to me, please. Second time. Oh, where are you? Question mark. Third time. Missed call. 4th time. Give me 5 minutes. 5th time. Hey, man, talk to me. 6th time. You need to delete everything on Reddit and all platforms. 7th time. 8th time, unsent message. 9th time, unsent message. 10th time, unsent message. Delphi Murders, Weird Shit, Part 51. Amelia 8381 says, from what I'm seeing in the Facebook group, and to be clear, I didn't necessarily trust anything on Facebook. He's saying Richard Allen's wife attended the funeral, but I think a lot of Delphi residents did, so no big deal. Poshmark and Roblox were definitely used for some communications. People were commenting pictures of 2 other users' accounts that used Poshmark. You guys probably know who I'm referring to. The guy is commenting a lot on a lot of the posts and comments, as well as answering some questions. He hinted at the fact that based on what he's seen in Discovery, CSAM might have been involved. This is discussing Mark Robert Cohen. He said Richard Allen at one point worked at Stellantis, Chrysler plant in Kokomo. Who else worked at Chrysler? People commented that a certain someone else also worked there. He's also saying he's not going to say anything that would hurt the case. Bullshit. He's hurt the case immensely over these years. I'm sure I've left some stuff out. If you want some screenshots, let me know. I don't know if any of this is true. Roblox. How is a child's game? How could it be involved? Oh, you'll find out, bitch. You can communicate with other players online. That's how. It's very easy to make an account by downloading the app. All you have to do in order to talk to another player, i.e. children, is go into one of the games in Roblox and start chatting. That's how the chomos do it, ladies. It's already been exposed. I've done posting about it. I've done shows about it. And there's a whole documentary on it. It's a child targeting pathway. Roblox for content. All right, let's just skip. Okay, so this is weird to see Roblox mentioned here because I had to report a video I found online, which was an entire Roblox reconstruction animation of the crime scene. and the crime of the murders of Abby and Libby from beginning to end with Roblox characters for Abby and Libby and the murderer. Yeah. It was so fucking awful. I had to report it to get it taken down. I didn't find it too necessary to add, but the original poster says they found the accounts tied to a Pinterest, Poshmark, and Roblox account. They speculated the apps could have been used in a way of secret communications. Well, that's exactly how it's used, ladies and gentlemen. I think Poshmark is more so for selling branded clothing, so I wouldn't be sure if BG's clothes were ever on there. Well, they're going into weird conspiracy theories, but here where it gets deep. Was it? It was tied to a Roblox account. That's creepy since most kids and teens are on Roblox. Oh, yes, I remember exactly, says Chill Pills, because of how disgusting this was. It was odd because I remember seeing a very famous 1 million plus Roblox YouTuber early in the comments encouraging the video of the murders of Abby and Libby. That's right. I never saw any encouragement, says Got Kittens. I don't remember other commenters, but I certainly got very upset. I'm glad I'm not the only one who remembers it because I never saw anyone else speak of it in forums since then. And I started to think, did I see the whole ass animated movie of a double child murder in graphic detail with a music score and a script? The whole thing is an absolute disgrace, but must have taken a big investment of time. It was like some depraved Roblox snuff film and bizarrely detailed. It was very horrific for sure because the way it was filmed was very snuff film torture porn style and not in favor of Abby or Libby. It even showed scenes of the girls being raped. What's really creepy to me is someone had to build that whole Roblox bridge map and hired other people to control other characters. I used to play and build on Roblox when I was a kid, and let me tell you, building maps takes time. The amount of time and effort to make of this child murder, sexual assault snuff film on Roblox is disturbing. I've never played Roblox myself. I'm 40, but even I could see the amount of detail, the landscape, and everything looked very accurate. The film even included the murderer walking the trail from the car park and commentary gradually reaching a crescendo of excitement. A full murder movie as if done as if it were titillating, like creepy wank stuff for psychopaths. I believe the account had an icon that made it look like it was owned by a K-pop loving teen girl. There's no way a young girl made that deplorable shit. Wow, all of it is hitting me now. Yes, it was made to look like a K-pop little girl made it, and all of the replies to the negative comments were childlike replies from the creator. It's very disturbing knowing what we know now that Roblox chats might have been involved in the murders. You see, when Alex and I tell you that the Stevenson's great granddaughter account was this type of thing, you think we're joking with you. No, these fuckers are pretending to be teens online and they're doing psychotic, sick shit like this. Yes, they made an entire Roblox version of a snuff film of this entire crime, posing as a little teenage girl, and people wanked to it and were excited about it. It was made for psychopaths. Here from Reddit, we have someone naming Richard, a local who was near the scene but was not the killer. The real red pill about Richard is that he comes from a very wealthy, influential family. That's why the cops won't charge him and have to keep pretending they don't know who did it, and they won't even admit they know who the guy who video is. Wife Lilith claims this is Greeno and Cat. Just because there was a video of Richard on the train tracks doesn't mean he did it, says Anonymous in 2020. The cops are smart enough, February 20, this all took place in February 2020. Cops are smart enough to know this and probably have interrogated him already. It was a dead end. Either that or he has connections. It was probably someone from out of town. Who knows, though? Then we have from Wikipedia someone putting his name in March of 2020, just a month after this 4chan shit. Then we have Don Toretti in February 2020 stating R.A. Someone says Richard Allen. She denies it, but then later confirms it. Don't worry, we have the receipts. Don't worry, we have the receipts. She confirms that, yes, she met Richard Allen. We have the receipts. You'll be seeing it soon. Okay. This is just a little something. We'll just skip over this. It's there if you want to go look at it. Okay, here's some more. Here's some more. Delphi Weird Shit 53. Okay. Now, imagine what we're looking at. Just take it in for a moment. Someone posts Abby on the Bridge, February 2020. Once again, all of this is going on in February 2020. Keep that in mind. Real life horror kino. And from Wikipedia, I pulled a definition of kino. 4chan slang, especially good or sophisticated cinema. You get it? You get it? You get what I'm putting down here? More from 4chan, February 2020. It's like fucking 3,000 people talking of Delphi. And even if he's not from there, he must be from the nearby area since he knew about the place where the kids liked to hang out. Actually, crazy, he hasn't been caught. Girls did everything to help the case, and police is fucking it up intentionally. One of the major theories is that he's a retard or something who lives with his parent and doesn't ever go out. And now parent knows what he did and locked him up completely. That's why they can't ID him. Haven't they found this guy yet? They had a fairly incriminating photo, more than you would get from most killers, and the town isn't that big. Everyone in town knows who he is, but we don't report him. You heard that? Everyone in town knows who it is, but we don't report him. Because he keeps time into specifics. Would you tell your dad if you found a mistaken photo of a juvenile? No. He has or had no social media presence. Dude is a ghost. What are they talking about here? Who is this? Small rural communities are a breeding ground for psychopaths, and more often than not, the locals are either fully complicit or know more information than they're willing to share with investigators. That's what's going on with Delphi. The area map shows this wasn't some kind of vast wilderness in the middle of nowhere. There are roads, farms, businesses, homes dotted across the area. I find it hard to believe their killer was some random outsider who happened to stumble across them. It was definitely a local who did this, and I would bet on at least a few of the local rednecks knowing exactly who did it, but keeping their fucking mouth shut. That's exactly what it is. Why didn't he destroy the cell phone after killing them? Good point, Anonymous. Fellow Delphi Anon here, says Anonymous. I used to work at the Shell station off the 25 on Park. Talked to some of the truckers that would come through now and then. There was this one city slicker who owned a small business in town. They say it used to be a whorehouse or something, but now it's just your average farm supply store. One of the truckers said he was trying to buy some feed for his chickens back home or something at the store that the day of the murder, but no one was there. There were loafer tracks heading into the woods. Loader, I think he means. Towards the bridge, though. Spooky shit. Is he talking about the Harvest store? Or the mirrors? What's going on with this post right here? It's Delphi Weird Shit Part 53. Go watch it and figure it out. Go look at it and figure it out. Okay, Robert Ives. Okay. Go watch it. It's all there. This is the judge killing the sheriff. I mean, the sheriff killing the judge. Just some stuff you can go watch. Okay, go watch Adrian's. Okay, highly recommend it. What do we have here? Delphi Weird Shit 54. More 4chan for you guys. That's what freaks me out about it so much. That small town during the middle of the day, and you'd think someone would have heard something or at least be able to identify this guy by now. Yeah, you'd think so, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you? Because they're all liars. 2 girls were killed. One had a picture of a random pedestrian on her phone. Everyone assumes this is the killer because reality is convenient like on social media. I don't know what I don't know what SUV is. Am I right? Two girls dropped off on a hiking trail with a derelict train bridge. Photo is from a Snapchat one of the girls sent. Presumably, the audio is from the moments before they were murdered. Photo and audio clip are only leads. Here we get into some richness. One was found alive but unconscious and died later. I don't think that's possible without a head. Yeah. So this is arguing about them being beheaded. I thought both were found dead at the scene. Would you mind posting a source for one being alive? Oops, I was wrong. I released too much autism for a day. No worries at all. What? Wrong. Authorities in Indiana released a haunting 3 word audio clip extracted from the video found on the phone of a 14-year-old. Sorry, I'm wrong at the moment. It's only a rumor reported that one survived the attack but died from hypothermia. Original poster is as good as you're getting. There were screen caps taken from video Liberty took. Unknown whether it was taken from her physical phone, from her iCloud, or from a Snapchat messaging or something. A lot of misinformation is being spread around here. I recommend anyone who seriously wants to drive or dive into this to check out the last thread we had on the case. Lots of avenues discussed, maybe a good jumping off point for anyone unfamiliar. Also, anyone from the area, I'm trying to confirm or not whether or not Delphi is a transient town. I've read several people that supposedly live in the area are saying it's a town that's mainly built around people, truckers, just stopping by. Most residents themselves are either just moving in or just about to move out. That would make it incredibly difficult to track the dude. Can anyone confirm that? Yeah, if he's a trucker. All right. Here you go. It was baseless speculation that there's another rumor. There's another rumor that one of the girls died that afternoon, but the other lived well into the evening or night. This is 2017, May, before succumbing to hypothermia in the water. There's another rumor that one of the girls died that afternoon, but the other lived well into the evening or night before succumbing to hypothermia in the water. It's just a small town rumor with no base in reality. The suspect's DNA could have come from a hair, a scrap of clothing. He could have accidentally bled from a wound or cut himself in the brush. They could be from scrapings from the girl's fingernails. It doesn't indicate rape at all. For the record, the rumor of one of the girls dying the next day came entirely from the obituaries for the girls being off from different days. One was the day they went missing, the other was the next day. I wouldn't read too much into it as possible, but the single piece of evidence pointing to a funeral homes to it is a funeral home's memorial page. As for a video of the murders, I doubt they have much, as the killer left the phone behind. It must have been in her pocket during the ordeal. Otherwise, I'm sure he would have taken the phone or destroyed it. This hasn't been confirmed. They didn't say where the video came from. Also, if he didn't realize he was caught on film, there's absolutely no reason to break the phone. He didn't take the girls with him. They were dumped right next to the crime scene. Also, there's no reason for him to go through the trouble of breaking the phone unless he had a reason to believe he was being recorded. All that's to say, maybe he didn't know he was being recorded. Maybe he broke it and Ellie got it from iCloud. Maybe they forensically brought it back. Maybe they threw it in the water and assumed. Maybe he threw it in the water and assumed it'd be enough to break it. There's so many possibilities. Blah 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 blah. Why is this person uh, gaslighting and shilling? Why is this person attempting to control the narrative here? May 17th, 2017. Why is this person doing this? This YouTuber posted a drone video of the Monon High Bridge only 3 days before the murders. It's almost surreal. His name is Phil Benson. Here's the link. It's dead. It doesn't work. It's been disappeared. I've been to the bridge. One of my dad's lame vacations to see the bridge. There's nothing around for miles. Yeah, except a bunch of homes. Oh, fug. He seems to have a similar facial structure. Doesn't seem that weird to me. The rest of his channels is also drone footage of other places and cool stuff. Police have publicly announced he is not a suspect, and please stop harassing him and his family. I thought what you thought in the last thread about this, but was straightened out. May 17th. Wait, police have not announced no one is not a suspect. They've said no one has been cleared. What's going on with this bullshit? What's going on with all this? Someone want to go figure this, make heads or tails of this? Delphi Weird Shit Part 54? Who's the YouTuber Phil Benson? Where's all his material? Why is someone saying he's not a suspect and has been cleared when no one's been cleared? May 17th, 2017. I believe two things. This was planned. They met this guy somewhere online or were catfished, but he had to know the area and came prepared. The way the investigation was handled, it was different than usual. They reacted very quickly. True. Usually they wait to do things with missing people. True. Even the kids and teens, but they reacted very shortly after they were notified. True. Immediately. And the FBI was there in the morning, ASAP, even though they had told people no immediate danger. True. Factual. The response time was too quick. Factual. Most likely, the FBI were looking for someone in the region, and the police were on high alert for disappearances. There's more going on here than is being led on. Wednesday, May 17th, 2017. True, 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 true. Fact, fact, fact. Badass bitch right here. All right, guys. We're going to hit up the last one before we end. I want to hit up one more. Okay, one more. This will be called Delphi Weird Shit Part 55. Okay, the last of our 4chan for now. There's more. Here we go. I said in the last thread, and I'll say it again, I'd be all over their social media accounts, seeing if they posted anything about going for a hike that day. They may have involuntarily gave too much info and somebody decided to stalk them. I don't doubt the idea that a stranger was passing through and decided to kill them. It's happened before. But if there are too many things, but there are too many things that don't fit. The suspect is dressed somewhat casually. Liberty and Abigail are dressed in light clothing. The guy is bundled up. Maybe to conceal himself, but regardless, if he was a vagrant, you'd think he'd have more clothes, a backpack. Just look a little bit dirtier. I see homeless folks around and they have all that stuff, my experience though. Also, this trail is well out of the way from anything that leads and it leads nowhere. I wouldn't throw out the idea of it being a stranger killing, but the circumstances presented make it seem like a local set out to do this. I know they can't release much more info, but I hope they do. These cases take time, and even though it'll suck, it might take years before they get a break if they ever do. Everything points to this crime being planned. He is wearing layers of clothing, prevents scratch marks and DNA from reaching his body. He's carrying a gun, probably a 1911 or similar. His face is somewhat concealed with a scarf and a hat. He's not believed to be a local, or he is. The dump site was described as pristine, meaning they must have murdered them somewhere else secluded, like an RV or a shack cabin. So you have a good point about the social media networks. However, if these were typical high school girls, their friends list must be in the 500 plus minimum, which means going through a list of 1,000 people at the very least, 800 if you consider some overlap in friendships. It won't be that easy. So easily could have been catfished to a meeting. The man arrives and tells them the boy or girl they plan to meet is in another location. Yeah, maybe like down on a private drive. I don't know. But they are wary to go with him because he's the uncle or the dad of the person. Well, this is the Keegan Kline, Tony Kline story, isn't it? Isn't it? Or they just knew her iCloud password and got it that day. My mom's iPad automatically syncs her phone photos with her iPad's photos. It could be something as simple as they looked at her iPad for an indication of what their plans were that day and they found that they were synced. Either way, I probably agree with you that they have the phone. Just wanted to bring up the possibility that the phone was destroyed or taken since people kept saying that the suspect left the phone on her. I was in an argument with someone recently, and I don't remember where, but they tried to assert that the criminal was probably inexperienced because he didn't take her phone after being captured. My explanation is that there's no reason to take the phone if he didn't have a reason to think he was being photographed. I think I'm with you on it being found with them. Just wanted to bring up possibilities. This is my theory. Even if he didn't pretend to be related to the boy, he could just come up on them with a weapon and said, "You're coming with me now." He really just needed to know they were there alone. See, bullshit, 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 bullshit. They left the phone. Okay. Logic check. Crime scene location. Multiple media outlets have reported that the bodies were found half to 3/4 mile upstream. ISP, Doug Carter himself, 2018 presser, WRTV6, WTHR, Fox 59, BBC, Daily Mail, etc., endorsed this half to 3/4 mile distance, approximately 3 to 5,000 feet. This is incompatible with the rumor location of the crime scene, the scene of the staging. Every online content creator seems to endorse one highly specific location across the creek without a clear factual basis. This logic is inherently flawed. It is incompatible with law enforcement statements because it is only a couple hundred feet away from the girls' last known location at the southeast side of the high bridge. This logic is critically flawed and omits that the crime scene location was reportedly half to 3/4 mile upstream from their last known location. Both cannot be true. This location below that you're about to see is half mile to 3/4 mile upstream, further east. It's also a wooded area. It's also on Ron Logan's property. Okay, check it out. Right here, High Bridge. Right here. Right here, Ron Logan's. Right here. This is where they were staged and the sticks placed on them. Okay. Right here. This is the area where our author is placing them. Okay. This right here is further from the crime scene, quote unquote. Not only that, this is where the news outlets initially placed the finding of their bodies. Do you guys know that? Do you? Not only that, this is where the Ron Logan warrant places their bodies, right here where the mouse is. Intersection of 575 and 300, that's right here, in the woods near the creek on the trails. Were they found here? Were they found here, one in and one out of the water, like Julie Melvin says, and others? Were they then moved to here on Ron Logan's on dry land, 50 feet away from the water, and then sticks placed on them? Why does Nicole Robertson say approximately 1 p.m. at this location? And why does Carroll County say drop off is approximately 1:49 and the girls are found at this location? Something's not adding up. Something is not adding up. All right. My wife has been following this very closely. She told me about police activity, but never updated me on what it was. She hears rumors through her friend who has family in Delphi who knew the victims or might be related to them. I'm not sure. She has also been glued to true crime websites that have made claims that the phone recorded the whole crime. One victim expired shortly after being found. The killer may have been part of the search party. You don't say. You don't say. That's what we believe. That there is something larger going on, possibly involving the Amish community. You don't say. Wow. Wow. Impressive. Very impressive here. part about the killer in the search party is disturbing because supposedly the one girl who was found with some type of stick speared through her back, the theory the killer speared her in some sort of because the search was getting closer and she was still alive. So she hastily tried to finish her off. There were certainly have more than they have let on. Not only that, remember Robert Ives saying that the girls were found so immediately after the crime? How do we explain that? Law enforcement has not released the time of death or the cause of death. The autopsy report is sealed, but if you Google Delphi murders cause of death discussion, I'm sure you'll find what the rumors are from people who have claimed to have gone to the funeral. A co-worker's brother-in-law is a detective on the case. He accidentally mentioned that large branches and bundles of sticks were inserted into various wounds, stabs, gouges, as well as into the genitals and rectum. This isn't the exact cause, but did involve hours of torture and pain. So what is all this? It's Delphi Weird Shit Part 55. Go look at it. Okay. All right. So we will we'll end it with that. We'll end it with that. And I want to thank everybody for watching. That was enough. That was enough for one day. We'll be doing another one to keep up with the weird shit, but I wanted to make it through at least those for you as quickly as possible, and I think we did. I just want to say to you guys, pay attention to everything coming out of the court. I have not prepared myself yet to start doing my takedowns of all of this information, but we're going to do it soon. Okay. We're going to be getting to it soon. I want to thank everybody for being patient with me. But here, like I always say to you, I don't have to be first. I just have to be best. So I never rush to get out this information. There's 500 other people doing that now. So trust me, there's plenty of people to go to for the play-by-play. And, you know, it's all the attorneys, basically. So go watch your attorneys for the play-by-play. And we will be doing a detailed critique of all the points coming out in the court as we're getting the paperwork and the receipts together. I highly recommend that you tune in for those. They'll be soon because, like I said at the beginning of the stream, all the lies and contradictions are hitting the airwaves now, and it's just astonishing. It's really astonishing. How do you account for David Erskine saying that those girls were found between 9:45 and 10:30? How do you account for Cody Patty telling his mother that those girls were found one in, one half out the water, one half in, one half out the water, and that they were taken to a cabin or a shack overnight? How do you account for that? Anyway, we'll be getting to it. So let's see. I see a lot of comments. I'm not really going to go through comments today. I apologize, y'all. So you're going to be finding out a lot, okay? You're going to be finding out a lot. Remember, we got all these people. We got all these people. We got the cartel. We got the cartel. We got the Gabe Ellis, Tyler Joe French, Megan Allen, Kokomo Crew, Garrett Kurtz Associates. We got the entire cartel, right? We got Derek German snitching on a federal level, on a local level. Got the entire family lying for 7 years about it. We got multiple phones. Where's Abby's phone? Where's Abby's phone? We got shit that doesn't make sense. How is this data being uploaded in other places? Someone want to explain that? Is it true that the Abbey on the Bridge photo is uploaded from the Farm Bureau building in town? Surely someone can explain that, right? Is it true that the Bridge Guy video is uploaded from somewhere else? Someone want to explain that? Huge wake-up call. Huge wake-up call coming from everyone. So you guys get ready. I anticipate it'll be about a week from now. I anticipate you got about a week. Okay? You got about a week. So enjoy the next week of peace, because after that, all shit's hitting the fan. So cheers, guys. That was Delphi Murders Weird Shit, Part 6. And I want to thank everyone for being here, especially Cromley, Heather Brown, Nancy Drew, Lisa, Jojo, Nobody Nothing, Sherlock Holmes, Margaret, Bill, Brutally Honest, Heather Brown, I might have said that already, Nobody Nothing, RC99, Jenny 33, Joe, Bobby Smith, who else was here? Thomas Scott, Sleuthy Goosey, Ashley Nudo, Mar R, It's a New Day, Adrian, Kayla, Aarontown, Greenlee. Who else was here? Well, I missed a lot of you because I was reading. Misunderstood. Well, I'm going back. Monday was here. Okay. So everyone who was here super early, apologize if I missed you. Carla Ann, Rebecca Ann. All right. Oh, Britt Marie Eck. Blessings galore. Thank you, Blessings galore. And Jay Marsh. Four Pits. Oh, It's a New Day gave a super chat. Thanks for the $5 super chat. Thank you. Okay. And Frenchie 6290. All right. And everyone who was here, Jessica Freeman, Gaslight You, Marianne, Dean Johnson, Augie, who else? Scully, Court of Public Opinion. Okay. Brutally Honest. Everyone who was here. Thank you so much. If you're on the replay, please hit the like. Please leave a comment below. We need your comments in order to survive. It makes the channel go. It's great for the channel. And listen, please support the channel. Also, we got the Cash App, Buy Me Coffee, the merchandise, and blah, 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 blah. Super chat, super thanks, all that. So please support the channel. Please participate in the channel, leave a comment and a like and all that. And watch out for the next show, okay? We're going to do another one soon, and you guys watch out for it. But I have to get out of here because I got some things to do today. So God bless everyone. God bless Libby and Abby. And hey, get your rest while you can, because next week the shit hits the fan, okay? All right. Love you guys. Peace out. See you later.